This is Dave Majcher with Micro Focus. I'm here today to talk about MITRE and how you can use the MITRE framework to help with your cyber defense. So first off, what is MITRE? MITRE is a non-for-profit organization out of Massachusetts that originally was set up to support various U.S. government agencies. What it has grown to now, it's a community-driven initiative that has a framework that you can now use to have a knowledge base that you can talk about real-world adversaries. The cyber defense teams that you have, so like a blue team and a red team, you can have a visualization and a language to be able to talk about the different adversarial techniques that are being used to compromise your environment and what IOCs they have. So when you look at their site, if you go out to the attack.mitre.org, and let's go back to if you go to the original site, it has on the top here, it has different tactics. And a tactic is what is that attacker trying to achieve. And then underneath, it's different techniques that you have. So if someone's knocking on the door and looking at your site, that is what they're trying to do. And how they're doing is the techniques that are underneath. So let's just say that if you have initial access, if somebody says, all right, we're going to do phishing, there is sub-techniques. So you can do it by an attachment or a link or a service. So there's, again, for this tactic, you have 9 techniques under here and then a bunch of sub-techniques. So you don't follow this going left to right. If I'm an adversarial trying to break into your environment, I don't do, A, B, and C. What you may do is some reconnaissance, you may do initial access or to go to privileged. And how you read this, if you go all the way to the right, this is the worst impact, where someone is actually stealing data, and exfil, or impact is where they could be destroying data or manipulating your data. So here's a disk wipe that goes a certain technique. So again, this is just a language and a framework to help you design and cover yourself and have a visualization of how you do your defenses. What I like to do is you can go also click on here for matrices and look at your enterprise. You can now look at your cloud. And there's a lot of activity around saying, let's say, what we have on our cloud, how do we defend for that, and also for your network. That goes, all right, how do we go through and how are people going to go and what vectors are they looking to attack us? They also have, right now, a tool that's called the Navigator. So when you use the Navigator, you can import a JSON file. So let me do that here. And what that JSON file is set up, it shows that for using the ArcSight intelligent product, so using machine learning, with CrowdStrike, how are you now protected for different, remember the tactics are the what and the techniques are the how, and how are you protected for all the different threat vectors that are out here. So this is a very handy tool that you can go through, and if you look at like privileged escalation that you're covered, if somebody's trying to do against ports, or if they're doing a boot login, then it shows the different how are you covered. And if you wanted to go and say, here's a specific that you can drill down specifically into this, let me go back to here. Let me show you from an enterprise. As you drill down into the different techniques, they do have a procedure that sets up on how you would use this, what kind of mitigations that you have available that are out there, how do you detect this, and then different references. And the Navigator, there's, you can go online and look at, there's a lot of ways you can change the colors and be able to go through and identify as you're working as a team to saying I'm defending, and what are we trying to attack and protect ourselves from. There's also another site that's called MITRE.microfocus.com that we have a legend down here that by these color codes that we will define what is in real time. So what is our SIM engine that we have a product. Then we also machine learning, that's our ArcSight intelligence. Our search and hunt, so how we recon or logger, and also with our partners. So this is again a way you can visualize how your coverage. Built into our products, we have our own community that we have all these standard rules and reports and things that are pre-built that help you cover and use MITRE effectively. So thank you for joining me for this. Hopefully it's been helpful, and this is something that a lot of my customers are using, especially the red and blue team, and how they're planning to detect for these different techniques of how people are trying to infiltrate your system. Thank you for listening.